don't feel right. I change like the colors of a sunrise. Not scared of the dark, I'm a highlight. I do what I want to. Changes, changing on the daily. Watch me flip the pages, flipping all the pages of my story. Weightless, I've been feeling weightless, fresher than the daydream. Look at me, I'm changing right before me. I dip when the mood don't feel right. I change like the colors of a sunrise. Not scared of the dark, I'm a highlight. I do what I want to. Stand tall cause I know what I've been through. Talk loud cause I know what I can do. Been down but I know how to get through. I do what I want to. I change with the vibe when I walk in. I'm chasing all that I'm wanting. On fire cause I know how to spark it. I do what I want to. Stay up and I brighten the room up. I trust how I shine like true love. Best part of the night like what's up. I do what I want to. Changes, changing on the daily. Watch me flip the pages, flipping all the pages of my story. Weightless, I've been feeling weightless, fresher than the daydream. Look at me, I'm changing right before me. I dip when the mood don't feel right. I change like the colors of a sunrise. Not scared of the dark, I'm a highlight. I do what I want to. Stand tall cause I know what I've been through. Talk loud cause I know what I can do. Been down but I know how to get through. I do what I want to. 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 I dip when the mood don't feel right. I change like the colors of a sunrise. Not scared of the dark, I'm a highlight. I do what I want to. Stand tall cause I know what I've been through. Talk loud cause I know what I can do. Been down but I know how to get through. I do what I want to. I just gotta be honest. I don't like the way she dresses, or the way that she pronounces her S's. And I'm just saying what they're thinking, cause they don't know you, no, like I know you, no. I'm not trying to be pretentious, but we know what we had was the bestest. Now you're hiding behind white picket fences, and she knows she don't know you, no, like I know you, no. Know that I'm supposed to be nice and everything, on some feminism shit, yeah. Know that it's not with me, maybe it's jealousy, maybe it's not. I just think she's kinda ugly. I'm not trying to be cruel, but the way she calls you happy before the altar alters you, and you'll know I'm not trying to waste your time, but I know if I had some I would change your mind. I just think she's kinda ugly, and that she's not the one for you. Let's not get this confused. Look at her and look at you, yeah. She'll mess up your genetic pool, and I would never do that. I would just improve that. Know that I'm supposed to be nice and everything, on some feminism shit, yeah. Know that it's not with me, maybe it's jealousy, maybe it's not. I just think she's kinda ugly. I'm not trying to be cruel, but the way she calls you happy before the altar alters you, and you'll know I'm not trying to waste your time, but I know if I had some I would change your mind. I just think she's kinda ugly, and that she's not the one for you, for you.
I don't know if I'm like more concerned or confused. That's the thing. It just doesn't make any sense. But why? Why would you do that though? Like,
I just think she's kinda ugly. I'm not trying to be cruel,
don't need to.
but
why?
the way she calls you happy
It just seems unnecessary.
before the altar alters you,
I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad.
and you'll know I'm not trying to waste your time, but I know if I had some I would change your mind. I just think she's kinda ugly, and that she's not the one for you.
Why haven't they said anything yet? Why haven't I said anything yet?
Hold on. Alright. To looking at you. Oh yeah, craving you like all afternoon. Someday I'll be getting a taste. Kiss ya from your tummy to your nose to your waist. Like eating a cake. Oh yeah, oh I can't wait. I'm gonna be the snack that smiles back. I'm gonna be the kid to your cat. The snack that smiles back. The kid to your cat. I'm gonna be the one you unwrap. Just take me out and break me in half. The snack that smiles back. The kid to your cat. Big pop on the tip of my tongue. You belong there like the frosting on a cinnamon bun. Oh yeah, I'ma eat it till it's making me young. Oh yeah, split me like an Oreo and dip me in a cup of your drum. Cause neither one of us is gonna taste as good if we're on our own. Falling like a skittle, I'll be filling up the palm of your hand. I'll be skinny dipping, feeling dizzy from your butter pecan. I'm gonna be the snack that smiles back. I'm gonna be the kid to your cat. The snack that smiles back. The kid to your cat. I'm gonna be the one you unwrap. Just take me out and break me in half. The snack that smiles back. The kid to your cat. I'm gonna be the snack that smells back. I'm gonna be the kid to your cat. I'm gonna be the one you unwrap. Just take me out and break me in half. The snack that smells back. The kid to your cat. I'm gonna be the snack that smells back. I'm gonna be the kid to your cat. The snack that smells back. The kid to your cat. I'm gonna be the one you unwrap. Just take me out and break me in half. The snack that smells back. The kid to your cat. I dip when the mood don't feel right. I change like the colors of a sunrise. Not scared of the dark, I'm a highlight. I do what I want to. Changes, changing on the daily. Watch me flip the pages, flipping all the pages of my story. Weightless, I've been feeling weightless, fresher than the daydream. Look at me, I'm changing right before me. I dip when the mood don't feel right. I change like the colors of a sunrise. Not scared of the dark, I'm a highlight. I do what I want to. Stand tall cause I know what I've been through. Talk loud cause I know what I can do. Been down but I know how to get through. I do what I want to. I change with the vibe when I walk in. I'm chasing all that I'm wanting. On fire cause I know how to spark it. I do what I want to. Stay up and I brighten the room up. I trust how I shine like true love. Best part of the night like what's up. I do what I want to. Changes, changing on the daily. Watch me flip the pages, flipping all the pages of my story. Weightless, I've been feeling weightless, fresher than the daydream. Look at me, I'm changing right before me. I dip when the mood don't feel right. I change like the colors of a sunrise. Not scared of the dark, I'm a highlight. I do what I want to. Stand tall cause I know what I've been through.
just gotta be honest. I don't like the way she dresses, or the way that she pronounces her S's. And I'm just saying what they're thinking, cause they don't know you, no, like I know you, no. I'm not trying to be pretentious, but we know what we had was the bestest. Now you're hiding behind white picket fences, and she knows she don't know you, no, like I know you, no. Not that I'm supposed to be nice and everything, on some feminism shit, yeah. Not that it's not with me, maybe it's jealousy, maybe it's not. I just think she's kinda ugly. I'm not trying to be cruel, but the way she calls you happy before the altar alters you, and you'll know I'm not trying to waste your time, but I know if I had some, I would change your mind. I just think she's kinda ugly, and that she's not the one for you. Let's not get this confused. Look at her and look at you, yeah. She'll mess up your genetic pool, and I would never do that. I would just improve that. Not that I'm supposed to be nice and everything, on some feminism shit, yeah. Not that it's not with me, maybe it's jealousy, maybe it's not. I just think she's kinda ugly. I'm not trying to be cruel, but the way she calls you happy before the altar alters you, and you'll know I'm not trying to waste your time, but I know if I had some, I would change your mind. I just think she's kinda ugly, and that she's not the one for you, for you. I don't know if I'm like more concerned or confused. That's the thing. It just doesn't make any sense. But why? Why would you do that though? Like, I just think she's kinda ugly. I'm not trying to be cruel. Don't need to. But why? The way she calls you happy, it just seems unnecessary. Before the altar alters you. I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad. And you'll know I'm not trying to waste your time, but I know if I had some, I would change your mind. I just think she's kinda ugly, and that she's not the one for you.
Why haven't they said anything yet? Why haven't I said anything yet?
Hold on. Alright. 2, hit.
You know I've been looking at you. I know you've been looking at me, looking at you. Looking at you, oh yeah. Craving you like all afternoon. Someday I'll be getting a taste. Kiss ya from your tummy to your nose to your waist. Like eating a cake, oh yeah. Oh, whoa, I can't wait. I'm gonna be the snack that smells back. I'm gonna be the kid to your cat. The snack that smells back. The kid to your cat. I'm gonna be the one you unwrap. Just take me out and break me in.
Hello, good afternoon, Ateneans. My name is Dara Sofia Cartujano. You can call me Dara, and I am honored to be your host for today's event. I hope everyone slept well and ate lots because we have an exciting workshop today that for sure will require your active participation and enthusiasm. So sit tight, relax, and I welcome you to our workshop Zoom In, the art of facilitating hosting in virtual events. Before we begin, let me just remind everyone of our rules that should be followed throughout the event. First, we kindly request our audience to please mute your microphone to avoid distracting the speaker and your fellow participants. However, during the activity later, you are required to turn on your microphone for your participation. We also highly encourage you to open your cameras if your internet permits you. Second, if you have any questions or comments regarding the presentation of the speaker, feel free to type your messages in the Zoom chat. We are also live on the official AdnoAsa YouTube channel. To our viewers from YouTube, hello there and welcome. Feel free to participate throughout the comment section. We will be reading your questions and comments later in the open forum. To receive your e-certificates for participating in this event, please accomplish the evaluation form and make sure to fill in the correct information. The link for the form will be given at the end of this webinar and in your Google Classroom. So without further ado, may I invite everyone to settle down and be ready for the opening prayer. Let us close our eyes, bow our heads, and feel the presence of our Lord.
Let us be present to the Lord our God, who is in our midst. God of all knowledge and wisdom, who inflames our minds with the passion to learn and to understand. God of all creation, who enlivens our imaginations with the desires to build and to create. God of all hope, who transforms our hearts with a yearning for the world of your wildest dreams. We thank you for gathering us together here to praise you by our own words and works. We praise you for the knowers and the seekers, the builders and the makers, the lovers and the dreamers, who are gathered to attend the online alternative classes program in our university. We offer everything to you throughout this program. We beg you, Lord, to bless and protect from all harm all the participants, facilitators, and the organizers of this alternative classes program. We pray that you bless all the persons in charge of this program, that they may fulfill their tasks diligently and responsibly. This pandemic has forced us to create and to expand new ways of learning about ourselves, our country, and our common home. We know that without your grace, we can do nothing. May we be living witness of your genuine love. Through the implementation of the knowledge and skills acquired through this alternative classes program, help us to live lives of abundant faith, steadfast hope, and undying love during this time of the pandemic. Following the example of Our Lady of Peñaprancia, our Mother, and Saint Francis Xavier, our patron. Send us your Spirit, O Lord. We ask this in the name of Jesus Christ, your Son. Amen.
Thank you, Father Celerino Reyes, SJ, for the prayer, and Alexandra Seton for the voice recording. What a great way to start the event. Now, to properly welcome us to this program, we have with us Mr. Rodolfo S.B. Virtus Jr., Director of the Student Affairs, to deliver the opening remarks. Everyone, please give Sir Sonny a round of virtual applause.
Good day, everyone. Your Office of Student Affairs and our partners are inspired by the results of the previous semester's first ever virtual alternative class program or ACP. Because of your presence and affirmation, we achieved an all-time high student participation and received positive feedback for the major student formation program. More students took part in multiple events more than the required. And this semester, we have continued working hard together to bring you another formative ACP experience, albeit virtually, because ACP is worth continuing, because ACP is mission driven. We have organized 24 webinars and e-workshops of varied, relevant, carefully screened topics. We have a lineup of excellent speakers who have the capacity not only to inform you of urgent and relevant issues, but also to inspire you to engage in these issues, as well as give you the necessary break from your usual academic routines. The ACP event shall hopefully be instrumental in delivering the pivotal message of the theme, Cannonballs, Firing Up Dreams, Courage, Action. With the COVID-19 crisis still lingering and social problems besieging the people and the entire nation, we still dare to dream, not only for ourselves and for our immediate families, but for the larger society. This dreaming entails discernment toward the election of decisions, not only for our personal development, but for the common good, for that which brings us closer to God. All this dreaming, discerning, and actuating such dream demand enormous courage. There is an upcoming election that will either keep the status quo or elect change in the pandemic response to health safety, vaccination, and economic recovery of people and institutions, in the treatment of human dignity and rights, in the preservation of truths, and in upholding justice and democracy, among others. And we, the Athenians, should be at the forefront of this campaign for change. Now, may the ACP challenge all of us, especially you, our dear students, to dream and to do so collectively for the good of the country, to have courage and to draw strength from each other and, of course, the truth, and to commit to dream and realize it no matter how difficult it may be. At this point, I would like to acknowledge the resource speakers who said yes to our invitation. Maraming salamat po for your generosity in sharing your expertise and insights. My gratitude also goes to the Office of the President, Office of the Vice President for Higher Education, Office of Mission and Identity, College Formation Council, Formation and Student Support Offices, College Ignition Formation Program, and National Service Training Program, and to all the offering academic departments and the student volunteers for all your great contributions to the conceptualization, preparation, and the actual implementation of the ACP. And to all the students, welcome po sa inyong lahat to the ACP offerings that you have chosen to attend. Learn and enjoy Athenians. Diyos mabalos po sa Indogabos.
Thank you so much, Sir Sonny, for those insightful thoughts and warm welcome to our audience for today. Now, I know that everyone is so excited to finally meet our speaker and learn more about facilitating online events. I am too, actually. However, let us first watch this video to know about the background of the alternative class program and theme for this semester's ACP.
Hello there, Athenians. Here's what you need to know about the Alternative Class Program, or ACP. The ACP is conducted every semester to provide the college students with formative opportunities outside of their regular classroom routine and daily schedule, in support of the university's uniquely Jesuit educational goals. Instead of attending their class for a particular period, students choose at least one ACP topic from among the offered webinars and e-workshops. Carefully selected resource speakers from different fields of specialization are invited to share their knowledge, skills, and inspire students to nurture their personal development and partake in social advocacies or causes. We thank you for your participation in the first ever virtual ACP last semester, which recorded an all-time high attendance turnout and received an overwhelmingly affirmative evaluation from students. Because of the ACP's affirming results and positive impact, we are continuing with a bigger and better ACP. However, the program shall still be carried out via digital platforms to ensure everyone's safety. The theme for this semester's ACP is Cannonballs, Firing Up Dreams, Courage, Action. This theme is inspired by the conversion of Saint Ignatius of Loyola, founder of the Society of Jesus. Just as Saint Ignatius was hit by a cannonball, which altered his life and drew him to a greater calling, this ACP hopes to light up the university's call for students to have dreams, discern on how these dreams contribute to one's personal improvement and the common good, muster courage, and find ways to accomplish these dreams. To do this, ACP offerings are carefully chosen to be relevant to the current times, formative, and mission-driven. The webinars and e-workshops hope to start a conversation on one's life in the pandemic and the varied factors that affect it, and facilitate personal and even community reflection and discernment. Who knows? These virtual activities could fire up meaningful cannonball moments in you, dear students. At the end of the webinars and e-workshops, the ACP hopes for the following objectives. First, acquire knowledge and/or skills that are relevant to one's interest, talent, skill, passion, advocacy. Second, relate or share the learning and insight gained from the topic or activity in conversation or dialogue and personal reflection. Third, examine the importance of one's interest, talent, skill, passion, advocacy to the development of the society. And fourth, seek ways or opportunities by which the gained knowledge and skill can be further advanced and used for the benefit of the immediate organization, community, or the larger society. For now, we would like to listen to the speakers sharing and take part in the conversation. Dream, have courage, take action, and don't forget to learn and have fun while we experience ACP, Athenians.
I hope that the video presentation gave you an idea on why we created the alternative class program and why we have sustained the implementation of this program despite and especially at this time of crisis. I will now introduce the speaker for this session's workshop. He is a graduate of Ateneo de Naga University with the degree of Bachelor of Science in Psychology and a licensed psychometrician. He is currently studying for a Master in Organizational Psychology in Ateneo de Manila University. At present, he is the Chief of Staff at the Office of the Executive Director of the Commission on Higher Education, and he is a member of the Psychological Association of the Philippines. He has years of experience and training, being an events organizer, facilitator, host, and resource speaker on various topics like outreach programs, peer coaching, and seminars about event facilitation like this one. Everyone, please give a warm welcome and a round of virtual applause for our speaker, Danesius Ralph Necio. Sir Ralphie?
Hello, good afternoon. Thank you very much, Dara, Sir Sunny. Maraming salamat po. Can you hear me? Am I clear?
Yes po, sir.
All right, sige. So maraming salamat and once again, welcome. I thank you for inviting me for the alternative class program as hosted by the Ateneo de Naga University Office of Student Affairs or OSA. So I'm very honored to be one of your speakers for this series of ACP sessions. Before I proceed, is my audio clear? Do you hear any background noises? Wala naman?
It's clear
Wala
naman
naman.
po, sir.
Okay. All right. Sige, without further ado, let's start, no? So I've been invited to speak on the art of facilitating and hosting virtual events. It is very timely, no? And very relevant as of now, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic, since mas marami yung virtual events natin ngayon. And I understand students being part of their organizations are involved in organizing their own activities, no? Such as this one. So to start with my first presentation, let me just share my screen. Let's first define or tackle basic facilitating. So my session today will be divided into two. So for the hopefully for the first 15 minutes, I'll be sharing with you inputs on facilitating. And after that, we'll proceed to basic hosting. All right. Sige. Okay. Okay. Basic facilitating skills. So, before we start with our session proper, may I ask our participants to go to this link dito sa ating Mentimeter. So, the link is projected on the screen sa www.menti.com/ tapos makikita niyo yung code. Please go to that link right now, no? Or if ever hindi doon sa link, you could just go to menti.com and input the code to access this screen. So ito yung lalabas, no? What are your expectations? Actually, ang unang lalabas is the question and your answer to this question. Okay? Clear ba? Okay. Sige, I'll be waiting for your answers here. So again, for the instructions, log into www.menti.com and use the code 74321913 and answer the question, what are your expectations for today? So our first lucky winner, ang first engaging, expectation na yan, engaging. Of course, emceeing, learn about the basics, break the ice, all right? So you could give expectations for me about the activity in general with your co-participants, or what are the things that you could give so that we could achieve these expectations. I'll give you a minute to do that. Alright, sige. Meron pa ba? So far, we have 89 participants. I hope each and everyone can give their own piece. Okay, sige. So I think that's about it. Our main expectation for this afternoon, you expect this session to be fun, engaging, insightful. So we'll try to do that this afternoon, and I hope you'll be able to really have fun and engage yourself and gain some insight and kumbaga find this session informative. So keep your expectations coming. I will be reading that later and we'll be visiting that later on. All right? Sige. See, before we close this, point out lang natin, overcome fear of hosting, all right? Get rid of stage fright, vocally confident, lively, breaking the ice. All right. Okay, sige. Okay, let's go back to our main slide. Thank you for your expectations. I hope you'll be able to achieve those as we go through our session this afternoon. Most of it is about technicalities and about soft skills, confidence, getting rid of stage fright, and other kumbaga, logistical related preparations like scheduling, equipment, etc. etc. Hopefully, we'll be able to cover that later on. Okay? Sige. But of course, on my end, I hope that you'll be able to participate just like now, sharing your own expectations, your responses. Tapos yung pag-participate natin later on when I ask you questions. So hopefully you'll be able to turn on your cameras later on. Alright? Sige. Thank you. Now, to start, let's first define what is facilitating. Basically facilitating from its word, from the French word, it means to render easy or make things easy. So to facilitate is to make things easy. Now, as a facilitator, you should be the one to assist the audience or the participants to make things for the participants easy din, no? So, just like this activity, as a facilitator, ikaw yung mag-guide sa ating participants throughout the program or the activities components. So, as a facilitator, you make the difficult easier. You guide the participants forward. You guide them through each action and each process. You assist them to achieve a certain outcome, perhaps learning objective, be productive, produce a expected output, be able to communicate well or kumbaga, aid in the communication of a group or within the group, and other related things. No? So as a facilitator, given that very challenging task, you should have these skills and qualities. So basically, these are skills and qualities based on my experience and reflection. So as a facilitator, you should be confident and you should be composed. Okay? So what do I mean by that? To be confident, you should be able to present yourself in a manner that you're really the star of the show, but not necessarily all the time, but confident in the sense that you know what you're doing. So one thing to do that is you should really prepare for what you are for your task, no? Either to organize an event, to facilitate a activity for a group, to host an event, no? And of course, it takes a lot of reading in the sense of the materials to be shared or the spells to be said, no? And in turn, given such preparations, hopefully that will help you be composed. Okay? Next, coherence. Coherence in the sense na connected lahat yung mga sinasabi mo from the start. As a facilitator, of course, you'll be giving instructions, you'll be sharing things to the group. You need to review your materials and objectives then, and as well as the parts of your program, your flow, your coordinators, guest speakers, if ever, mga ganong bagay. Third is voice and communication. That is very important. Now, lahat naman tayo may voice, no? So, and we know how to communicate. One thing is, we just need to modulate our voice. We need to practice how to pronounce words, how to deliver a message, how to set the tone. So, it really takes practice, no, to modulate. So, meron tayong normal voice, meron tayong hosting voice, meron tayong facilitator voice, meron din tayong singing voice. So you really need to discover it on your own then, hopefully through some guide points later on. Kung ano yung way to modulate your voice and how to practice more, no, to achieve that modulated voice of yours. Next is command and stage presence. So aside from the voice, very important rin yung yung presence mo. So you should always smile, be able to acknowledge our participants in a personal or intimate way by calling them by name, mga ganon. So that's one. And next, proximity and approachability. However, during the old normal, mas madali itong gawin kasi lalapit ka lang sa participants, sa audience mo, through their chairs, aabot mo yung mic, mga ganung bagay. But this time sa virtual, iba yung magiging techniques natin to be approachable, no? Could be, na-mention na kanina, calling them by name or interacting with them via the Zoom room or the chat box, mga ganung bagay. Then next, creativity. You should be creative in the sense na excited ka, you're relatable, you're able to relate with others, and you're very enthusiastic sa ating participants. You're really full of energy and nadadala mo yon sa Zoom room, no? Kasi basically, most of the time, you will be speaking in front of them. So hopefully, ma-share mo rin sa kanila yung ganong level of energy. Okay? And with that, hindi lang importante yung energy and enthusiasm, you should be also alert and observant, or you should have keen eyes, no? Para mapansin mo talaga ano yung needs ng participants mo, ano yung concerns nila, and you'll be able to address them properly and appropriately, no? Okay, for activity execution, depending on what your event is, basically need instructions, materials, program components, speakers, technical equipment. It really depends on your activity. Now, for this ACP, for example, sa Zoom tayo, so we really need the tech team, a host, no? Their spells, their videos. So, very important yan na through the activity execution as a facilitator, you should be able to know or prepare the instructions and materials. And may checklist ka na. Ready na ba to? Sino kakausapin for this? Anong next? What will you do when this happens? Mga ganung bagay. Then group management, inclusiveness, in settings like team building, sessions, or other related activities, very important na as a facilitator, mapa-feel mo sa participants na hindi sila nalileft out. So, lahat na tatawag natin, lahat na nakaka-participate sa mga activities. And one way to engage our participants or kumbaga keep them alert is questioning or asking them, no, questions. So very important rin yung art of a questioning. And basically this is about how you ask the questions. Nasasanay tayo sa mga why questions, but this time it's better really to ask what questions because they are easier to answer. So again, as a facilitator, you make things easy for your participants. If you want something to be explained, you don't ask something like why. Hindi ka teacher that triggers kumbaga critical thinking, or you want them to kumbaga really think deep, no? As much as possible in relation to your activities objectives. Mas madali if what yung itatanong natin kasi one word answer yan usually or one sentence, and mas madali yon and mas mabilis yung maging flow mo if yun yung magiging guide or support natin sa participants. Okay? Sige. Next, na-mention ko kanina yung mga skills and qualities of a facilitator based on my experience. Essentially, as a facilitator, you'll be having a lot of roles. You'll be a partner, a planner, an enabler, a motivator, a taskmaster, and a guide. So, multifaceted yung role ng facilitator, no? Multi-talented din. And yun, very important yun because as a facilitator, you handle the experience of the group that you will handle either through a formal activity or a virtual event. So you experience, very important na you'll be able to guide the participants through the experience, guide them through the reflection or perhaps sa setting of mas formal na events, mga Q&A portions, generalization, sending the message, ano ba yung point na activity natin, ng event natin, and of course the application that can be seen through structured learning experiences. What have you learned, for example, if you facilitated a smooth interpersonal relationship activity or a team building activity, given the realizations of the group, and how can they apply the same after the set activity, in their respective or small ways in their day-to-day lives. Okay? Na-mention kanina yung structured learning experience. So as a facilitator, ito yung very basic na kailangan natin. It is a 7-part activity which contains orientation, which basically is the opening and preliminaries, instructions part, activity and experience, it's the activity proper, the processing, or if ever may other events, we call it the open forum. We could relate that to it, open forum. And the synthesis of the questions, of the sharings, input and integration, basically, ano yung mga main points natin to ponder for our participants, ano yung mga sharing natin of the personal experience, and wrap up and closing. Itinatahin natin lahat ng mga nangyayari from the very start to the very end para at least solid yung experience natin. Okay? Sige. Dadaanan lang natin to, yung orientation. Basically, orientation is where you share the general objectives, for the group. Ano yung gagawin nila for the activity. So, example, pag team building, we're here to build camaraderie, to get to know each other more. Or if may virtual event like the alternative class program, we're here to learn about this topic. So that is the part of that's the orientation part. And as a facilitator, it's very important that you introduce yourself first before anything else, because along the way, you will be referenced by our participants. Although sa Zoom, sa other virtual platforms, very easy na siya kasi nandiyan yung name mo palagi. But it's very important na may personal touch tayo. You'll introduce yourself. Remind them about their name tags in a physical setting or face-to-face setting, but for the virtual event, this is in the form of reminding them to edit their screen names sa Zoom, depending on the format that you want. And of course, for this part, you don't necessarily reveal everything, sasabihin lahat ng mangyayari, because per part may chance naman kung ano yung objective ng part na to, ano yung i-share mo during this time. So sa orientation, you don't tell everything. Parang overview lang siya. Okay? Sige. Instructions. So pag may activity, after the orientation, you start with instructions for the activity proper. So you give out instructions. It should be clear and coherent. Avoid loopholes. For example, ang medyo mahirap dito, if kulang instructions mo or mali, some participants might challenge you, or hanapan ka ng butas, or parang kakorek ka in front of everybody. But of course, don't let those participants or difficult participants grab that opportunity, no? So as a facilitator, you should also be a palusitator, yun ang sabi namin. Yung palusot ka. For example, nagkamali ka, usually hindi itong ginagawa ko. Pag nagkamali ka, nasasabihin ko na lang, chinecheck ko lang kung alam mo. O, ngayon, alam mo na, very good. Okay, sige. One specific experience na nangyari to sa akin is yung sa Mall of Asia, sa SMX. It was my first time to host an event. It was the largest crowd that I was able to handle so far in my 28 years of existence. 8,000 no, sa SMX convention. It was the Psychological Association of the Philippines Junior Affiliates Convention. 30th convention yun. Namali ako ng pagsabi ng isang school na sabi ko pamantasan ng lungsod ng Maynila. Mali yun. Dapat pamantasan ng lungsod ng Muntinlupa. So nag-react sila. Imagine, perhaps less than 8,000 students nag-react, no, na mali. So para hindi ako mapahiya or para at least maganda pa rin yung program, nagbiro na lang ako, nagpalusot na chine-check ko lang kung nakikinig kayo. So very good, nakikinig ating students. Tapos yun, may burst of laughter after. So it was an affirmation na okay naman yun. Kahit nagkamali ako, masaya pa rin yung experience. Hindi siya pangit tingnan sa program. Mga ganung bagay. Okay? Sige. So, next, of course, basically, the orientation provides direction and guides participants partake part. So sa instruction, dapat clear siya to give you the participants a guide, the direction for the next components of the program or the activity. So as much as possible, we repeat the instructions or question twice para at least ma-retain sa kanilang cognitive space na ayun yung tanong sa kanila, yun yung kailangan nilang sagutin. So if ever napansin nyo kanina, when I asked your expectations, I gave the instructions step by step and I repeated it twice. Okay? Sige. Now for the activity proper, ito na yung mga main activities natin. Kung i-relate natin siya sa ACP, ngayon, this is the activity proper and the experience. So, during this time, it's very important that as a facilitator, you monitor the output and the interactions of the participants, you observe the behavior and the dynamics of the group. For the Zoom, notice if may naka-off ng camera or anong ginagawa nila while their camera is on. If sino nagko-comment sa chat box, gestures done by the video or yung mga reactions. Kasi baka may concern sila at may kailangan silang sabihin, di ba? So, ayun. Napacheck tuloy ako sa chat box. Ayun, basahin lang natin. No? May mga psych major dito. I think si Efren, Papja, si Ricky Wo. Ayun. Sana all my singing voice. Oo nga, sana all. Ayan, thank you for your feedback. I appreciate that. So, feel free lang to chat sa box. Okay, i-check nyo rin yung interactional circumstances that help the group achieve the goals. So, kung nawari team building, tas may challenge sa kanila, ano yung mga nakatulong sa kanila to do the task? Na wala sa instruction pero they did it out of initiative. Maganda yung material to share or point out later na as a group, they were able to do the activity or the challenge efficiently because of their teamwork as evidenced by the initiative of some, mga ganun-ganun, di ba? Maganda yon kasi yun ang very important na makita natin, yung behavior ng group or individual during, kumbaga, life situations as represented sa group challenges or activity challenges. Okay? Sige. So, for this part, it's very important then to constantly remind the participants about the instructions or ask them if may clarifications and remind them about the time. So as a facilitator, it's your role to manage the time. You are a planner, you're a manager, lahat-lahat. So yon. Especially pag virtual event, very important na mo-monitor mo rin yung mga participants mo. And if ever may mga sudden changes, technical difficulties, you'll be able to give your ad-lib or your spills or kumbaga troubleshoot yung nangyayari. No? For example, may nag-share na participant, hindi siya marinig masyado, you could ask him or her to turn their video to maximize the bandwidth para mas clear yung audio niya. Or perhaps may hindi pa ready na material presentation, you could proceed to the next or perhaps do an ad-lib, ask the participants some questions, interact with them, or on your end, you could share something just to buy the time, no? Para walang dead air. Okay? Sige. That's for the activity and experience. So processing part, of course, after the activity, lagi kong example ng team building, no? Tapos mga talk or mga ACP. Ganun na lang para mas clear. So processing part, pag team building, ito yung part na kakamustahin mo sila. How was the activity? Was it easy or difficult? What made it easy or difficult? If you will notice, the question start with how, what, or these are easier to answer questions. No? Pero of course, we'll still ask questions that will entail the why. Kasi mas deep yun. Pero later part, or depending on the activity or the objectives, you could ask that. No? But as much as possible, what and how tayo para easier talaga siya. Okay? So, of course, hindi lang siya kakamustahin kamusta yung activity, how was the activity, was it difficult, was it easy? You could also point out, no, what did the group do to achieve the task? What could have been done to accomplish the task if ever nag-fail sila or hindi nila na-accomplish yung task nila as a group. So, important yun, no, na minsan hindi talaga ma-achieve yung activities goal. Okay lang yun. Ang importante, ma-process mo na maayos yung grupo. And point out rin, ano yung mga naging strengths nila individually to help the group achieve their target output. Di ba? Next is sharing on discoveries, realizations, insights, and learning. So aside from the heart level and the mind level, heart in the sense na yung naramdaman mo, mind in the sense yung mga na-observe nila during the activity. Very important din yung mga deeper, cognitive processes. Like ano ba yung mga na-discover nila while doing this? Ano ba yung pwede nilang ma-relate sa experience na yon sa buhay nila. Dito naman pumapasok yung mga may hugot, may mga banat-banat. Okay lang yun, it's healthy, no? Kasi nare-relate nyo siya or na-apply nyo siya sa real life. And it's very important, no? Yung importance na yon. Okay? So, after that, of course, don't forget to thank each and every one. Very important, lagi ka nag-thank you, affirm them because it encourages participants to answer. Kunwari sa mga question and answers sa virtual events, sa Zoom, if they answer a question, you don't forget to thank them, no? Kasi especially if kailangan mo ng inputs from them, you want them to respond, i-acknowledge natin sila para mas motivate sila to do the same. Okay? Okay, or perhaps pag physical setup, may mga 3 baksak or 3 claps or mga virtual reactions, gestures, text, pag naman, mga Zoom events just like this. And sa mga question, follow up, clarify tayo. Try not to miss a thing. No? Okay? Sige. And as much as possible, for example, pag mga Zoom events na maraming questions, paulit-ulit, same lang naman, we could facilitate things by summarizing the questions. I-cluster na natin. Okay, a number of the participants asked a similar question about this and that. So let us ask the guest speaker and that and that. So para mas mabilis, it will save time, it's more efficient, and mas effective siya. Okay? Sige. For team building activities or other related activities, no, use collected process reflections. Yung mga reflection nila, sharing nila, pwede nyo siyang magamit as an example or mga points nyo during input and integration. Okay, which will come next after synthesis. So synthesis, ito yung part na pag nagsasummarize ka na or kinoconnect mo yung mga questions or sharing. So parang for example, team building. So person A mentioned kanina na ganito ganyan. We could also relate that to the sharing of person B just as well as person C. And kung makikita natin, it is all about this part, no? And thank you for that. Sa mga events like this, like the alternative class program, perhaps pag question and answer, na-mention ko kanina, na there were questions a while ago about hosting, about facilitating, and our guest speaker was able to answer them, and this was the response. Hopefully, the participants were able to understand or were clarified after the said response. Mga ganong spill. Okay? Sige. Okay, for input and integration, ito naman yung pag mas formal activity, yung mga talagang information or lesson points na gusto niyo sabihin or mga messages na gusto niyo sabihin na, for example, sa team building, na in team building, teamwork is very important to sustain the group as it goes through its group development or its group life, mga ganon. Or if pag ACP, point out natin yung mga specific learning, sharing, or as the speaker, ano yung mga examples ng mga naging mga sinare ko kanina, mga example na experience ko based on the guiding principles, on the theory or the content or the tips perhaps, mga ganon. Para mas relatable siya and mas applicable sa real life situations. Okay? During this time, you should be able to relate and connect inputs from the group among its members, explain the essentiality of the activity, highlight and acknowledge evident positive experiential effects, your achievement of objectives, and what's important is what they say. No, during this time, mas importante yung sinishare ng mga participants natin. It's not really all about you, no. You just facilitate the conversation. So hopefully, hindi most of the time yung facilitator lang ang host na nagsasalita. Dapat may participants rin na engaged, no, to really share their own piece. Okay, remember as a facilitator that you are just a guide through their journey. Okay? Then wrap up. So, of course, ito na yung mga closing statements natin pag sinasummarize na natin yung buong activity. Tinatahi natin yung mga nangyari from day one perhaps, kung more than a day activity, or in the morning session, or perhaps sa first part, kung maiksi lang, or pag mga may open forum or virtual events. Wrap up lang, review lang, recap of what happened earlier, tapos i-highlight yung mga nangyari, yung mga very important messages. So yun, so basically, you're just summarizing everything, give the bottom line message, perhaps end it with a famous statement or quote, congratulating the group or thanking everyone for attending the event. We hope to see you again in our next ACP, next semester perhaps, or next schedule, or provide transitional statements for the next session or activity. Kasi it could be na tapos na the first set of activity, may susunod na naman. So ulit na naman sa orientation, so on and so forth. Break the ice. It's very important, no, na along the way, you know how to break the ice. Ito yung mga icebreakers natin, mga energizer. Dapat meron kang 100 impromptu games in mind. So be ready for anything. Pag nabobore na, of may dead air, of may nakamali, or may inaantay, you can do some energizers or breaking of the ice. Most of the time, pag virtual event, ano na siya, like mga interactive games, no, na accessible online, or perhaps may question, i-type sa chat box, paunahan, mga ganon. Or paunahan sasabihin sa audio, or bring me na naka-video, mga ganon. Okay? uh, ready dapat tayo. Assignment natin yan. You should be creative. You actually could create your own. So far, in my experience, nakagawa ako ng sarili kong icebreakers. And it's fun naman din. Hindi lang natin magawa ngayon, no? Kasi it's time consuming. But my point is, it's not necessary naman na it's an existing game or icebreaker. You could make your own. Very simple, very brief energizer or icebreaker. Okay? Just a recap and do's and don'ts, no, of basic host facilitating before we proceed to the next is, again, prepare and practice. Good posture and grooming is also a priority. Always smile. Diba? Always smile. Never point. Use open palm gestures. Call participants by name. Never use si ate or si kuya if you're not sure of their name, ikaw or si ano, to address them. Better to really call them by name, no? To really make them feel that they are recognized, or kumbaga kilala mo sila kahit paano. Okay? And again, time is gold. Manage it well. Though refrain from being seen looking at your watch or phones. A facilitator is palutator. Grace under pressure. So cover mishaps or utilize them as an element of the process. Nakwento ko kanina, yung project experience. Never apologize that their trust is in you. Siguro avoid natin sorry. Better is thank you na lang. Thank you, mas positive yun. Immerse and engage with the group as also na parang ano ka, part of the group, no? Hindi ka ibang tao. You're one with them. Never be seen reading modules or manuals. Usually pag face-to-face classes na may hawak na papel. Okay, our next part, parang pangit naman doon, no? Pero pag host ka naman MC, normal naman yun, talagang may guide ka. Although, as much as possible, hindi laging nagbabasa or tumitingin sa papel. So, avoid sarcastic, offensive statements, unnecessary side comments, especially now, no, na mas mulat tayo sa sensitivity towards other people, our individual differences. Compartmentalize yourself without compromising interaction. So, very important rin na may boundary rin, no, or may command din, especially if kailangan talaga. Pero not in the manner na parang disconnected ka na totally with the group. And again, read. Especially if you need to facilitate group sessions or really share important messages for the group. Okay? So that's it for the first part. So basic facilitating. We'll go more on the basic emceeing part. But this time, mas mag-share ako about basic hosting. Since mas tayo focus on virtual events, hosting tayo ngayon. Okay, so our story begins. Na-share ko kanina yung experience ko of handling the highest number, 8,000, no? Ito yung highest ko so far. And my personal goal is to really, sana, if may opportunity, maka-host tayo sa Araneta, why not, di ba? Or sa SM, saan nga yun? MOA Arena, okay, 10,000 or 15,000 people, why not? Yeah, I started, my hosting experience started when I was chosen to host our seniors night nung high school. Wala pa ako experience noon. First time ko talaga, wala. Blank slate. Binigyan lang ako script or akong pinagawa. Then, nag-try lang ako to be formal, to use my formal voice. Then, doon ko na-discover na I can do it pala, no? And along the way, nung nag-college na especially, nung nag-volunteer na ako sa mga ganitong events, sa OSA, especially sa College Guidance Center, doon ako nagsimula na marami talaga experiences to really facilitate, learn about facilitating, to host events, be an MC or Master of Ceremony. And doon ko na-discover na ito dapat, ito ang gagawin, mas magandang ganito, mas efficient or mas effective kung ganitong approach ko. Mga ganong bagay. So, nag-grew yung ganong experience and naka-host din ako ng ORSEM, anchor host, at least, nung may face-to-face classes pa. Yun. Ilan yun? Less than 1,000, or 1,000 perhaps na participants, and it grew along the way. I was able to host weddings, debuts, formal events, birthday parties. Nag-work rin ako as a marketing representative sa McDonald's. And of course, mas nagagamit ko rin siya sa work din, no? Especially if may mga activity rin kami. And kunwari sa formal functions like consultation, meetings, and other things, no? Okay, sige. Sharing ko lang yon. My point ko lang is, i-track nyo rin yung mga milestones nyo in life, in your personal development for this skill, which is hosting. So differentiate natin, hosting and emceeing. Basically, emceeing is something like, mapapansin nyo pag weddings, very formal, may babasahin ka. Alright? The next part is the slicing of the cake. The cake symbolizes yada, 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 and like that. So more of, you're really the master of the ceremony. You know the ceremony, and what you say next will be the next thing that will happen. So ganun lang siya. But for hosting, medyo hindi tayo stiff in that sense na although may flow naman lahat, may script naman lahat, pero mas mas interactive, for me, mas personal siya, and mas kung sa Zoom events, parang may touch of organizer or ikaw yung bida sa una and mag-guide sa ating mga audience. No? Okay, sige. So basically that's it, no? The difference of MC and hosting. As the host or the MC, you have the power. You have the mic, no? The most powerful thing pag events, ikaw yung papakinggan ng lahat, no? So, yeah. Yun. For me, an MC is EMCEE. I'll just make this fast, no? Para makagawa tayo ng activity natin. First is E is for energetic. M is mobile, C is confident, E is enthusiastic, another is effective communicator. All right, isa-isa natin. An MC is energetic. Energetic in the sense na you possess a lot of energy. Energy level check ka talaga, as in check na check. So you have this vigor that you could share to your participants, and ikaw yung magsiset ng tone or atmosphere, example sa paano natin gagawin yung session natin ngayon. So, sobrang taas talaga. Like, yung parang clown sa party. So, hawaan mo yung participants mo ng energy. No? You can do this by having fun. Okay? Sige. Next is MC is mobile. Mobile in the sense you keep moving. You are easily approached, accessible, interactive, and friendly. So, yun nga, you interact or converse with your participants, call them, ask them questions, especially sa Zoom. Yun yung magagawa mo. Wala tayong physical masyado eh. Kasi pag physical setup, lalapitan mo or you will hand them the mic. But virtual, yun yung magagawa natin so far. Yung pag-engage sa kanila virtually. And it's very important that you take care then of your body language. No? Who would you rather talk to, di ba? Mas kakausapin mo yung nakasmile, open gesture, welcoming, warm person, as compared to sa masungit, blank face, naka-close gesture, parang hindi siya masyadong attractive to talk to, no? Okay, so yan, some things to point, no? Papakitaan ko lang kayo ng mga examples. Alright? Okay. Sige yan. Mga ganitong gestures dapat take note natin. Okay? Sige. Next, yun again, approachable, interactive, friendly. Be mindful of the distance. Actually, ito yung tinatawag nilang social distance or yung social interaction. May intimate, no, distance, casual, intimate space, casual space, social space. But ang gusto natin sana ma-achieve ngayon is, aside sa social, yung public talagang mafe-feel ng crowd yung presence mo or ikaw as an MC, mafe-feel ka nila, no? Especially kung very big yung crowd. Hindi naman kaya kung ang way of approach mo is very intimate lang. Baka hindi yun ma-achieve kung ganun lang. So, doon tayo sa public space, social space, yung audience zone. Okay? Okay, as an MC, you should be confident. So, sabi ko kanina, like, you have a strong sense of belief sa sarili mo. You are assured of yourself. You are self-reliant. And one way to do this is to really prepare, no? Review, read, prepare, and believe na kaya mong gawin. Okay? Having no or having no doubts or uncertainty sa sarili mo, correctness and successfulness. No? Okay, one way to do this is to really smile, because the smile is the shortest distance between people. So, di ba, mas magaan yung ganung feeling, and mas confident tayo to really do things that we are tasked to do if we have this kind of mindset. Okay, another way to be confident about yourself is to look confident. So posture, dress appropriately, kumbaga, alagaan mo ang sarili mo, self-care, prepare for the engagement. Okay, tuturuan ko kayo later yung posture tips. And again, as a reminder, yung personal communication, parang sabi nga nila, parang it's not really what you say that matters or kumbaga causes conflict. It's really how you say it. No? Minsan, depende siya sa pagsabi mo talaga. Very important talaga yung paano mo sinasabi ang mga bagay-bagay. Diba? Okay. So, hopefully matry natin to. Good standing posture. Pwede rin natin siyang gawin pag sitting, no? So, hopefully you're doing this kahit naka-off yung camera niyo. You lift your breastbone, no? Lift it. Bring your head back so that it is sitting squarely on top of your shoulders. Tuck your chin in a little to keep your head level. You know, engage your abdominal muscles to tuck in your waist and prevent your pelvis from rolling forward. Let your arms hang naturally, natural lang, down the sides of your body. Your thumbs should be pointing forward. Stand lightly with your feet shoulder apart. Okay? Yung relax lang, pero parang stand straight. Sit straight. Okay? Di ba? Okay. Again, most of the time, tinanong ko kanina ni Dara how I am feeling right now. Sabi ko sa kanya, as always, kinakabahan ako. Hindi siya nawawala, no? So if ever you'll be doing your facilitating rin and hosting, you'll really feel kumbaga, scared. Kakabahan talaga yung lagi. O hindi yan mawawala. Promise, hindi yan mawawala. Ang importante is, hindi kayo magpapakain sa kaba. Okay? Prepare, don't panic, and pray. No? Of course, depending on your belief. Come prepared. Because again, you are the master of ceremony. So it's very important to you na hindi ka nagpapanic, na you're really prepared, you're confident, and help yourself relax and calm down. Okay. Sige. Next, yan. Again, before anything else, preparation is the key to success. And another E is for enthusiastic. So you are motivated, keen, sure of yourself, fanatical, ardent, no? So parang you give all yourself, all out ka sa energy mo, 100%, nothing less. And pag troubleshooting, may mga ways ka to really use the incident as part of the program para mas positive yung kakalabasan. Manage the time and yung positive thinking rin. So, very important yon na to be enthusiastic. Positive ka rin sa mga nangyayari. No? Kasi, syempre, it relates rin to your energy. And of course, when you're enthusiastic, when you're energetic, when you're very positive, forward thinking, you can make things happen. Basically, your activity or program. So, nothing great was ever achieved without enthusiasm, sabi ni Ralph Waldo Emerson. Okay, last E, effective communicator. So as an effective communicator, you should have a clear, direct speech and active listening. Very important, active listening. And this process is complete once the receiver understands the sender's message. No? So two-way talaga siya. Again, as a facilitator slash host, your voice matters. Your communication to your audience matters to achieve the goal of your engagement. Very important rin yung language yung ginagamit mo, yung feedback, how the message is being received, how it is being sent. Ayun. And of course, transition together. Sana when we go to the next parts of the program, we really ensure na nakaka-catch up yung audience natin kasi baka masyado tayong mabilis, no? Depending on the activity or kung naintindihan nila instructions, something like that. Okay, and of course, know the right questions and ask them in a more convenient manner or facile way. Slow down, especially if may mga instructions ka, may mga sinishare ka. Slow down, kalma ka lang. Okay, check nyo if it's you, if that's you. And again, practice makes progress, not perfect. And along the way, to practice rin, try nyo tongue twisters lagi. Or extend yung mouth nyo pa nagsasalita. Practice kayo, read it out loud. Kahit malakas boses mo, kahit mag-isa ka or with other people, practice, try nyo. Imagine yourself having an audience. Okay, just like right now, kahit wala kang nakikitang cameras, I'm imagining that. So mga lang yan, mga tongue twisters lang yan. Okay, so some do's and don'ts, tips na lang to. So in emceeing or hosting, know the organizers and have a background of the participants and the speakers as well. In this case, ACP, it's about sharing activities and sessions for you as students, as the participants. I'm the speaker. If you're the host, review your script. If meron, if wala, gagawa ka ng script. Know the rationale, objectives of the program. Wear the appropriate attire as much as possible. Look your best. Be on time or better yet, earlier, around 30 minutes in the venue or virtual meeting room. A while ago, nandito na ako sa room around 1 o'clock. No? So 30 minutes before 1:30. So it helped me relax, calm down. Nabawasan yung kaba ko. Kasi at least naramdaman, nakasettle down na ako, kumbaga. It will ease out your stress, anxiety, na nandyan naman palagi. You will feel nervous always. From the start, throughout, even now, I feel that, but hindi ko pinapahalata because hindi ko hinayaan na mangyari yun, di ba? So I just get with the show. And be natural and personal. Try to converse with people. Later on, we'll be having more of that. And focus on the success of the event in relation to your task. This is not your show. Although at times, of course, pag ikaw yung speaker, at some point, there will be a part ganon. And handle dead air. Be spontaneous. No, don't let dead air. Dead air, ito yung sinasabi natin na, okay, for example, for the next part, let's watch this video presentation. But after you said presentation, hindi pa nagpe-play yung presentation. Medyo matagal. So, hindi natin yung hayaan na ganun lang. Kasi that's dead air. Dapat salita ka pa rin ng salita hanggang sa okay na. Okay? Or interact or perhaps review or give a recap ng nangyari before the next part or the video presentation. So, be spontaneous, kumbaga. Tips for virtual events, open Zoom room for organizers earlier, at least 30 minutes before. Admit organizers, speakers, VIPs first before the participants, especially pag limited yung space for the Zoom. Nangyayari yan na nakapasok na yung participants, wala pa yung guest speaker, paano tayo makaka-start, no? So, admit participants on time as much as possible, no? Para it will condition people to really come on time so that we can start on time. Assign people for each role or task who will admit the participants, who will mute and unmute rather, who will send messages for everyone. And for those in the waiting room, who will record the meeting, who will share screen, who will collate the questions and summarize the same, and give them to the moderator. But most of the time, pag ikaw yung host, ikaw rin yung magmo-moderate, ikaw rin yung tawag mo dito, ikaw rin yung summarize, ikaw magbabasa ng mga questions. So very important rin na matrain ka sa quick thinking or yun, quick paggawa ng task quickly. Okay, common problems for virtual events. Overwhelming number of participants, lalo na if hindi nyo na-expect na dadami or walang registration system. Late entering or admission of guests and speakers, so may implications at the time. Unmuted participants, or biglang may mag-on ng camera or something like that. It might, affect the program or the speaker. Low bandwidth or intermittent connection. So if ever nagsasalita ako, hopefully hindi naman nangyari yun ngayon na napuputol or hindi na maintindihan because of the signal, no? Irresponsive participants, if ever may tinatanong, hindi sumasagot or zero talaga or medyo matagal. That's something very common. Technical difficulties, sometimes out of our control. Unnecessary comments by the chat box, no? Of course, especially if language ang concern. Repetitive questions or clarifications by the chat box. So, kailangan talagang i-summarize natin, no? Okay, some don'ts in emceeing. Never apologize. It's like saying, you don't trust me on this, I'm not fit and ready for this. So, repetitive use of words and phrases. Although, hindi rin naiwasan, no? Lalo na pag mabilis yung program or yung pagsasalita mo. But of course, as much as possible, pabawasan natin redundancy and pansinin natin yung mga mannerisms, no? Or the space fillers like that. Mga ganun. Refrain from sharing personal opinions on irrelevant issues. Unnecessary and distracting nonverbal actions and mannerisms. Never point. Huwag ganyan kasi parang it's very aggressive. Parang pangit, no? Although, depende if may gusto kayong kita or whatever. But in general, very important yung open pa rin tayo. Excessive laughing and cracking of jokes na parang puro na lang pagpapatawa, hindi na na-achieve yung objective of the activity. Minimize side comments, sarcasm. Okay, so far, at this point, I hope hindi ako masyadong mabilis, no? Na-absorb din naman yung sinabi ko. Do you have questions so far? What are your questions? Kasi before that, after this, we'll be having our activity. Okay, I'll give you siguro 1 minute. Baka may mga questions kayo before we proceed to our simulation. Okay, so while waiting, I'll give na siguro the instructions for a very short activity before we end. Let's practice, no? So ito yung instructions natin for this practice session. So you will be divided into 5 groups. So each group shall be assigned parts to a program. So they will devise a script and role play the part assigned in a maximum of 2 minutes per group. The group can assign main hosts, anchor hosts, speakers, participants, audience as a role. Bahala kayo. And you will be given, hindi siya 15 minutes, babawasan natin siya. You will be given 5 minutes to prepare. Okay? As I said kanina, mas maganda na quick thinker, mabilis, and makaka-prepare talaga tayo ng on the spot or impromptu. Okay? Sige. Okay. Clear ba? Clear ba? Sige. I think may nag-chat. Una. Sino to? Let's check. None so far. Thank you, Efren. Very furnished naman po. Okay, thank you. If you have, thank you, Ricky. Oh, yes po. Okay, so since clear na, I think we could start the time in the breakout rooms, you will be automatically assigned. Bahala na kayo. I will not assign a leader. As a host, as a facilitator, you should be full of initiative, time management. 5 minutes, balik tayo dito, then we'll start. All right? Clear? Okay, timer starts now. Thank you. Where are you?
Recording in progress.
Okay, hello guys. Okay, good. All right, good afternoon. I'll be sending the parts of the program. Group 1 kayo, no? So ito yung program na, wait, asan na yun? Share screen ko na lang tuloy. Nakikita niyo? Can you see it? Okay. So ito yung group 1 kayo. So assembly time and preliminaries yung part ng program nyo. Okay? Game? Okay. Sige lang. I'll go to group 2. Okay. Congratulations in advance. Okay, okay.
Recording in progress. Recording in progress.
Ready, guys? Okay, let's turn on our cameras. Sige. On tayo ng cameras, everyone. Who is group 1? Sinong group 1? Sige, on nyo yung mic nyo. Group 1? Okay, ready na ba ang group 1? Make some noise, guys.
Calling in for group 1.
Nagkahiyaan na tayo.
Sir Ralphie, baka nahihiya pa.
Sino group 1? Raise your hand. Raise your hand, group 1. Sino? Let me see. Hindi pa nagta-turn on. Sino yung group 1? Raise your hand. Let me see. Wala ba? Raise your hand. Okay, si Bernadette. Santa Clara. Okay, Bernadette. Let's start with group 1. So group 1 is assigned for the assembly time preliminary. So kayo mahiya ha, okay lang. Performance level, pero don't worry. This is a safe space. If it needs not to be perfect, just have fun. No? Okay, group 1. Sige, start na tayo. Assembly time and preliminaries. Ang twist dito, yung group 1, after nila, tatawagin na diretso ang group 2 as if sila ay co-host. Okay? So, kuha para diretso-diretso tayo. Alright? Sige, we can start. Group 1, Bernadette and company. Okay, everyone, welcome to Araneta Coliseum. Let's present our first group to be led by the one who raised her hand, Miss Bernadette Santa Clara, please, and company. A round of applause, please.
So good afternoon, everyone. We are about to start in a short while. We would also like to remind all the participants to be reminded of the house rules. The Zoom meeting will follow a code/name naming format for participants. The name format will be code and the nickname surname. And the codes are the host, student, organizer, faculty member, and sponsor. Don't forget to mute your microphone. Be transparent to the possible interruptions during the event. Maximize the use of reaction buttons to show your support and practice digital safely. While we are waiting for others to join, we would like to thank the following sponsors. Again, good afternoon, Ateneans, and welcome to this event. I am Bernadette A. Santa Clara, taking up BS in Civil Engineering, and I will be your host for today's event. Let us start this event with an invocation. Now, let's proceed to the next group.
Okay, sino ang next natin? Bernadette. Group 2 na ba? Group 2. Group 2, raise your hand. Okay, Floor. Take it away, Floor. Flor May Nolasco and Angeline Toriano, please. We're done with the first part, the preliminaries. Miss Bernadette thank our sponsors. However, I wasn't able to hear our sponsors. Maybe that's the brand, the silent brand. Miss Angeline, please. For the welcome remarks, I think, correct? It seems, Dara, meron tayong technical difficulties, no? All right, yan, meron na. Angeline, yes, please. Okay, si Flor. Yes, Flor. Go ahead.
So good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Flor May Nolasco, and on behalf of Ateneo de Naga University, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you. We appreciate your time taking off and being with us today, and we hope for a very fruitful and very enjoyable event right now. Again, I would like to extend my gratitude also to the sponsors of this event. Again, thank you so much.
Okay. Tapos na yung group 2 or may susunod? Call the next speaker. Sige, ibato mo yung next, yung mic. Go. Meron pa ba? Angeline, you're raising your hand.
Again, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today in this very meaningful event on how the youth, the students, and all the education community would mobilize this coming 2022 elections. I am very sure that everyone would enjoy the activities for today, and as well as the speakers that we have invited in this very wonderful event. So may I now call on the first speaker, Miss Sarah Jane Alago, the representative of Kabataan Party List.
Okay, group 3. Miss Angeline, nasaan na yung ating guest speaker? Group 3, please. You may start, or maybe you're having technical difficulties as well. Group 3, start na tayo. Okay. Sige, sino ba yung group 3? Raise your hand again for group 3. Floor, ikaw rin? Group 3 ka? Okay, binaba. Ryan James Fajardo, right? Ryan. Ryan,
hello po.
yes, go.
Okay lang po ba kung may script na sample, as sample?
Yes. Go.
Okay po. So, ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Tonight's speaker is known for his work in humanitarian aid. He has traveled abroad on more than a dozen large-scale projects, ranging from water for India, where he lived in rural towns and helped establish water solutions, to Engineers Without Borders, where he helped develop and install renewable energy sources. This man's contribution to the improvement of the quality of life in the developing world was captured in a recent Newsday article entitled "The Difference It Makes to Try." The article profiles a number of people who are making a difference in the world, and you can find him at the top of the list. Known for his positive and motivational attitude towards international issues, his dynamic range of acquaintances, and a sense of adventure that knows few bounds. I would like to introduce Mr. Gregory Evans. Please give him a round of applause. Yun na po. Ay, okay na po.
Okay, thank you. Group 3, so let's call on group 4 for the next part. Tapos na kayo, Ryan, di ba? For group 3. Group 4. Sino po host sa awarding? Group 4, let's start with the awarding of token certificate of appreciation and evaluation.
So good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So we now move on to the awarding of certificate of appreciation. So to award the certificate of appreciation, let me read the citation first. So Office of the Student Affairs, Ateneo de Naga University, present this certificate of appreciation to Mr. Danesius Ralph Necio for being the resource speaker and giving his expertise in the webinar Zoom in the art of facilitating hosting in the virtual event held this October 26, 2021. So given this 26th of September 2021 at Ateneo de Naga University, City of Naga, Philippines. So, yun po.
Yes, let's call group 5. Yes, tawagin mo group 5.
So, let us now call on group 5 for the distribution of certificates.
All right, thank you so much.
Hello, am I audible po?
Yes.
Okay. Let me start in 3, 2, 1. Thank you very much for that wonderful talk, Sir Ralphie. My takeaway from this activity is the acronym that we must remember. An MC must be letter E, energetic, M, mobile, C, confident, E, enthusiastic, and an effective communicator. At this point, I am pleased to present the certificate of recognition to express our gratitude. Let me read first the citation. Ateneo de Naga University, Office of the Student Affairs, presents the certificate of recognition to Mr. Ralphie Nucio for sharing his knowledge and expertise as a resource speaker in one of the alternative class program with the topic of Zoom in, the art of facilitating and hosting. Given this 26th day of October 2021 at the Ateneo de Naga University. Signed, Mr. Rodolfo Bertos, also Director. And that concludes our activity. We are looking forward to see you on the upcoming activities organized by yours truly. Please do not forget to fill in the evaluation form found in the chat box for our future activities. This is Zoom In, the art of facilitating and hosting. Once again, this is your host, Efren Dominic Abiog, signing off. God bless and stay safe.
Very good. Thank you very much, everyone. Palakpakan natin kada isa. Turn on tayo ng cameras para makita ko naman kayo. Congratulations. Thank you very much for your participation. So before we end, no, quick feedback lang. So napansin nyo, on the spot yung everything. I know may mga technical difficulties kanina, may mga kailangan i-clarify sa instructions or nag-usap pa kayo ano yung magiging roles, ano yung magiging script, sino magsasalita, and paano. And may bigla ang dagdag na instruction na dapat makonect natin sa sunod na group. Okay, so feedback lang in general. Very important na very quick tayo to respond, no? Pag tinawag na tayo, salita na tayo kaagad. Kunin nyo na yung mic kaagad, speak, start na tayo kaagad, no? And of course, ipasa yung mic sa susunod na magsasalita in the smoothest and warmest way possible, no? And very good yung unang part, no? May very detailed talaga yung reminders, assembly time, yung preliminaries. Nagustuhan ko yun. And sa welcome remarks, yung usual natin, no, na opening skills. And may sponsors pa tayo, di ba? Ayun. And yung introduction of the speaker. Then, ngayon, magkaroon tayo ng awarding. 2 beses tayo nag-awarding, no? It's good na babasahin natin yung citation as it is. And na-capture yun naman in general yung basic parts ng activity. Although, parang hindi tayo nagkaroon ng open forum na part. No? So, since it's role play naman, sige. So, hopefully, may other opportunity rin na ma-apply natin yun. Ngayon, I think most of you turned off your cameras, no? Wala pa ako masyadong malagay na input on how to use the framing sana ng ating, kumbaga, pag-host, no? Pag naka-on yung camera. So hopefully, maging model nyo si Dara right now. Dara, can you turn on your cameras? So, yan yung magiging sana natin, frame sana when we're turning on our cameras. Pag mag-host tayo, no? As reference, no? Mas madali siya tingnan, kita kayo. Hindi yung nakaganyan ka, naka-zoom in, noo lang nakikita, ganito, o whatever. As much as possible, wag masyadong magalaw. Dito lang. Pick your best view. Napansin nyo, side view ako, no? Side view. Kasi, ito yung best view. Medyo hindi ko gusto yung tingin ako doon or whatever, or gitna. So, yeah. Choose your most confident view. Okay? Then, of course, pwede rin naman gumalaw ng kaunti. Tama lang. Huwag din masyado. Although, hindi ko naman yun observe right now, no? Sinishare ko lang yung experience ko sa previous session namin together with sila Dara, no? And nakita ko yung application nila, no? Session namin. And, ano pa ba? Basically, it's more of the, ang feedback ko lang ngayon is yung dead air. Hindi nagkaroon ng coordination, transition in between. Parang hindi tayo sure sa gagawin natin. Although, when you listen to everything that you said, nakakatuwa kasi prepared kayo and you were right in everything doon sa part natin. No? Na-awardan lang ako ng 2 beses pero sige lang, okay. Kung gusto nyo talaga awardan ng 2 beses. Ayun. So, for now, siguro, para mas ma-enrich lang before we end, no? Ano yung questions natin so far? Clarifications? Or extra award daw? Oo nga eh. Thank you. So, questions. Ano yung mga questions yun? And napansin ko very fluent din na sa pagsasalita. Maganda 'yan. Mas practice pa natin para talagang ma-reach natin yung natin, best hosting voice. Questions, clarifications, i-send nyo sa chat box kung medyo nahiya kayo. Yun bala, i-address nyo rin yun. No? When the game is on, game on na tayo. Wala nang atrasan na. Di ba? So, I'm not sure what happened sa individual groupings, but at least, di ba, per group, nagkaroon tayo ng output for each task. Yung kay Justin, di ba Justin, pwede mo rin i-atras yung laptop mo para kitang-kita ka talaga. Okay.
Malayo
Sige,
pa kasi
questions?
yung
Sige, questions? Or perhaps lighting din, pwede rin natin ma-address. Like yung kay Lilibeth, pwede natin i-adjust yung lighting. Okay, yung kay Floor, kung hindi mo gusto masyado yung virtual, yung background mo, blur natin, that's good. Yung kay Dara, of course, siya yung merong tawag dito? Meron siyang virtual background. Yes, Lilibeth, you're raising your hand. What's your question?
Sir, how do we manage our pag na-anxious?
Okay. Before or during?
Throughout, sir.
Throughout, okay. See, as mentioned earlier, no, it will stay throughout. Nandiyan na siya. Forever, hindi mo forever. Most of the time, based on what I observe, lagi kang may kaba. Ang importante, huwag kang magpapakain. Like, huwag mo hayaang kabahan ka lang, period. Isipin mo, okay, kinakabahan ako, pero alam ko naman yung gagawin ko, ready naman ako, ito yung next step, sasabihin ko na lang. Okay, in spite of the kaba, I'll still do the task. Pwede ring hinga ka muna, kalma ka. Siguro before to applicable, no? Before, or drink water. Don't forget na dapat hindi ka masyadong, hindi dry yung throat mo, yung lips, dapat hydrated ka para makabawas din. Ayun, pero yun, very important rin na early ka sa event, prepared ka talaga. Or if ever kinakabahan ka along the way, I don't know. For me, yun lang experience ko. Huwag ka lang talaga magpapakain sa kaba. Parang sige lang, go lang. Pag feeling mo magkakamali ka sa sabihin mo, pause ka muna. Kasi pag kunwari kinakabahan tayo, medyo bumibilis tayo magsalita. Ayun, yan yung sign na nagpakain ka sa kaba. Parang stop. Stop ka, pause. Pag nagsasalita ka na, slow down lang. Mabagal lang. Relax ka lang ba? Ayun. I hope nakatulong yun. No? It's more of a personal mindset. Mindset setting siya. So you have to train yourself to really control your anxiety. So perspective talaga siya. Talagang perspective taking siya na isipin mo na ganito. So okay? So training your brain talaga siya. Thank you, Lilibeth. May follow-up question ka? Clarification? Yes, very fresh. Friend. During actual activities, di po mawawala participants natin yung mga social traps na tinatawag. Can you give us some tips po on how to handle them just in case maka-encounter kami nito into the future? Eliza Evalyar. What do you mean by social trap? Sorry, educate me, my dear Gen Z. Ano meaning social traps? What do you mean by that? Like,
yung parang sir, different types of participant like yung monopolizer, yung mga
okay, yung mga difficult participants natin.
Opo.
Parang aagawin yung scene or attention, parang ganun. Or they will do something.
Yes
Tama
po.
Ba? I think actually dapat may separate pa yan. Separate session pa sana yan na kasi based sa experience ko, yung training namin on that, separate session talaga siya on how to handle difficult participants. And per personality or per participant, may specific intervention. For example, kung pag lagi kang kino-correct, ayun, pwede mag-acknowledge ka. Thank you for that correction. Tapos, proceed sa next. Minsan, yung mga participants, hindi mo lang papansinin. Sometimes, the most effective thing to do is do nothing. So, hindi mo lang papansinin. Can you give a specific example, Eliza? Para mabigyan natin ng example, intervention.
Yun po, sir, yung parang yung mga monopolizer na parang pag halimbawa may nagtutok sa unahan, parang all-knowing, parang mahilig magchika sa katabi, tapos parang alam niya na lahat ng sinasabi ng speaker, ganun po.
Okay. So usually, ang mag-handle niyan yung speaker. Kasi nagsasalita pa yung speaker. Tama? Or
Yes
tapos
po.
na? Okay.
Pwede po kasi siyang
mag-butt in.
Oo.
Sige, pwede sabihin natin na thank you for your sharing. That's very good, no, na meron ka ring experience on that. But maybe later will be given time for that. Okay lang ba? Is that okay? Okay, kasi this time, for this time around, the one speaking is the guest speaker. So, syempre may better way pa to say that. Mas nicer way pa, no? Basta ganun lang. Thank you for those insights, no. Wow naman, talagang marami kang experiences on that. And nakakatuwa rin at nasi-share mo yan siya sa other co-participants mo. Maybe later we'll be having more time for that. But for now, let's have our guest speakers finish his or her presentation. Okay? Alright, sige sir, proceed na tayo. Ganun lang. Cut mo lang. Hindi mo siya ipapahiya, i-thank you mo siya, pero i-set mo sa kanya expectation na, okay, that's good, but it's not yet time for that. Kasi because there's something else that we're trying to do right now. Parang ganun. Nakuha mo, Eliza?
Yes po. Thank you, sir.
Okay, I hope nakatulog yun. Na mali yung pronunciation, hindi naman yun iiwasan, no? So ako, personally, nagkakamali rin ako sa pag-pronounce, may grammatical, ungrammatical phrases na sinasabi kasi syempre pag nasasalita ka, diretso-diretso niya. That's okay, no? Pag nagkamali ka, pwedeng rather, yung sinabi ko kanina, may mali akong word na basahin. Sabi ko, inulit ko na lang yung correct word, then sabi ko rather. Parang ganon. So, that's it. Wala naman perfect eh. So, magkakamali ka talaga. Pero pag may nag-react, pwede rin i-acknowledge mo, yes, correct. Thank you for that clarification. The correct term is this. Tapos dead man na, proceed sa next. Ganun lang. Or, hindi mo talaga papansinin na kinorek ka. Pwede rin yun. So, proceed ka lang. Pero of course, sasabihin mo na lang, uulitin mo na lang in the correct manner o yung spill mo. Parang ganun. Okay? Okay ba yun, friend?
Clear po, salamat.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next. Next question. No overtime na tayo. Thank you for allowing us mag-overtime. Sige, baka may last questions pa pahabol. Baka hindi kayo makatulog kung hindi nyo matanong ngayon. Lumabas yan bigla sa panaginip nyo at kayo ay babangungutin. Tanong na natin ngayon, no? Sige, sino yan? Okay. So I think wala ng questions. Dara, am I right? Wala ng questions?
Possibly po, sir.
Okay, meron. Sino? Ay, sorry. Narinig niyo ba yun? Sabi na meeting. sorry. Anyway. Question? I hope hindi naman kayo na-distract kanina. So,
Sir, while we are waiting for their questions pa po, we have reactors po kasi who are going to be reacting to your presentation po. May
okay,
mga
okay.
nag-volunteer po na may mga nag-volunteer
Okay,
po na students.
okay.
But first po, thank you so much, Sir Ralphie, for the informative talk po. It truly is important that everyone is aware of the basic skills in facilitating and hosting because of how timely it is now. So while we are waiting for the others' questions, let us call our first reactor, Catherine and Renatay.
Hello, Catherine.
Calling in.
Sir, good afternoon once again, Sir Ralphie, Necio. First of all, thank you for being patient with us in teaching how we can properly facilitate events as well as how to project ourselves in different audiences. I only have one question for you, sir, and that is, what is the most critical component of being an MC that makes the work or the task extra challenging for you?
Miss Universe question naman yung tanong natin. Joke lang. Okay. Most critical task, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I think for me, ang most critical is you should really know everything that will happen. Parang as an MC or organizer, you should know yung what will happen before the event, during, after. Kasi dapat all-knowing ka eh. Mahirap yung hindi mo alam na hindi pa pala ready yung dinner. Pero nagsabi ka na at this time we'll be having our dinner. Diba? So, for me, in my experience, I think it's very important na alam mo yung components ng program and yung mangyayari. And kilala mo kung sino yung kakausapin pag ganito ang nangyayari, may kulang, may kailangan. You know the coordinators, kumbaga. Feeling ko yun. Kasi minsan, possible din na magaling ka magsalita, magaling ka mag-communicate, di ba? May stage presence na very good, pero parang hindi ka ganun ka, alam mo yun, hindi ka ganun ka-alam sa event, parang medyo mahirap yun. So for me yun, the most important or critical thing is you really have to come prepared, you know what you will do, what will happen, and why is the event being held at the very first place? Ano ba yung objective niya? Diba? Kung di mo siya, edi you make the debutant feel special, or wedding siya, i-highlight yung couple. Kung event siya about consultation, facilitate conversations, diba? Mga ganon. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, and I hope to see you again next time.
Salamat.
Thank you so much for that answer, Sir Ralphie, and I hope that your question was answered, Ms. Renatay. Now for our second reactor, we have Ricky Angelo Magalona.
Yes, Ricky.
Hello, good afternoon po.
Good afternoon.
Hello, narinig niyo po ba ako?
Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yeah. You are.
Okay. So first off, thank you po, sir, for your presentation. For this wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
And also, may isang question po ako, sir.
Mm-hmm.
What's the best advice you can give to someone na lagi na utal, ganon, and lagi na metal block sa stage?
Okay. Ano yan? Nangyayari na? Like, on the spot na mental block ka, nauutal ka na?
Yes! Yes.
Or even before, parang hindi nahihirapan ka? Parang ganun ba?
Opo. Maraming beses na po.
Although it's very easy to say, no, but very hard to do. Pero ang lagi kong iniisip pag ganyan, may many times na nangyayari yan sa akin, nauutal ako, hindi ko na alam yung susunod na gagawin, parang may mental block nga ako. Ang ginagawa ko is to really pause. Stop ka muna talaga, stop. As in parang you can search for grounding activities. I hope sa yung usual psychology tips, no? Yung grounding, you being more aware of the surroundings, conscious of what is happening right now. Yun, nakakatulong yun for me na you pause, you stop, then compose what you will say, and yun, saka ka magsasalita. Kasi usually, ang nagiging cause ng pag nauutal ka is mabilis ka alam mo yun, mabilis yung mind mo, mabilis ka magsalita, may iniisip ka, parang napapangunahan ka, alam mo yun. For me, in my experience, yun yung naging cause nun. So what I do is I really pause, I stop, I review or compose my what I will say the next few minutes or seconds, then saka ka magsasalita. Parang ganon. So, kasi at the end of the day, kahit mabagal ka magsalita, dami mong sinasabi, basta feeling mo confident ka naman sa sinasabi mo, edi okay yun, di ba? Parang nasa control mo yun as the MC, as the host. Ang importante, you get the message, you share the message clearly. I hope clear yon, Ricky. Tama ba, Ricky, di ba? Or you have follow-up questions? Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, and thank you so much, Ricky, for your question. Are there anyone else who would like to ask question to Sir Ralphie before we move on to the next part of the program? Okay, going once, going. Okay. Okay, sir. We have somebody sent me a question right here, and they would choose to be anonymous. Okay. So the question po, what are the benefits of practicing to be an MC po?
Practicing.
Yes po.
Okay, for me, benefits siya. Kung mapapansin nyo, parang yung sa shinare ko sa inyo, it's more of personal experience, no? Hindi siya yung technical talaga knowledge or whatever. Parang for me, it will help you develop yourself more. Personal development siya. Ma-build yung confidence mo with yourself. Ma-train yung kumbaga ma-improve mo rin yung communication skills mo. Kasi ako, for me, I'm not that perfect in that aspect, but as much as possible, I would like to kumbaga improve myself more, di ba? Kasi nakakatulong siya for me, especially sa work ko or if ever may mga engagements that need hosting or facilitating, being someone who could, kumbaga, guide the group, help the group do the activity or perhaps do the program, no? So, in the career aspect, important siya kasi parang marami siyang ganun na opportunities You will meet a lot of opportunities when you start working or you do your own business na you need to speak in front of a lot of people. So it's very important that you also have that kind of, confidence in yourself, knowledge on how to be an MC or to host or organize events. Yun, parang mga ganyan. So, benefit-wise, aside sa meron kang ganong skill, you will be able to kumbaga, share a part of yourself sa other people and help the organization or company that you're working with or for sa mga kanyang engagements through events, activities, mga ganun. And aside from that, it could be also passive income, no? Kung in-invite ka for debuts or weddings, mga ganong functions, di ba? So it's something that could benefit you in a lot of aspects depending on what you want. Ayun.
Thank you so much for the answer po, Sir Ralphie.
Yes.
I don't think there are going to be any other questions, Papa. So we'll move on to the next part of the.
Yes, maybe before that, okay lang bang mag-share lang ako? Last na lang.
Yes po, sir.
Okay, so ayun. So again, congratulations kanina. Gusto ko lang i-share na thank you. Ito na yung end nung part ko, no. Shinare ko rin to last time with kila Dara. So, in relation to your questions, remember that being asked to be an MC is an honor. So, huwag niyo isipin yung benefits, no, masyado. Isipin niyo na, oonti lang tayo na, alam mo yon, yung kaya nating mag-MC. And actually, anybody can. Basta we try to learn and practice and expose ourselves. So yours is probably the most important function of the program, keeping every part moving smoothly, taking it seriously, prepare well, and be proud of the part you've played. No? And you will be asked again and again. So na-prove ko yan sa sarili ko kasi many times na-invite rin naman ako to host, to MC, to facilitate. Affirmation siya for me na, okay, I'm good, I'm improving. And as much as possible, pag may mga mistakes ako or parang may rooms for improvement, minomonitor ko yan. Hopefully, the next time na magkaroon ng opportunity, I'll do better. No? So again, a good MC is hard to find, so be one. Thank you.
Thank you so much for Sir Ralphie, and thank you so much for your participation in the open forum and in the activity earlier. I can see some students who have the potential to host and facilitate their own events in the future. And of course, I would like to thank our resource speaker, Sir Ralphie, for sharing to us your knowledge and time for this ACP workshop. We hope to see you in more workshops so that new and fresh faces can learn from you. Now, to show our gratitude to our resource speaker for accepting our invitation, we would like to present this certificate of appreciation. I would now be reading the citation. The Office of Student Affairs at Ateneo de Naga University, in cooperation with the Office of Mission and Identity, presents this certificate of appreciation to Mr. Danesius Ralph Necio in grateful recognition of his expertise and service as resource speaker in the alternative class program. Zoom in, the art of facilitating hosting in virtual events held on October 26, 2021. Given this 26th of October 2021 at the Ateneo de Naga University, City of Naga, Philippines. Signed by Mr. Rodolfo S.B. Virtus Jr., Director of Student Affairs, Ms. Janet B. Badong Badilla, Executive Director for Mission and Identity, Dr. Alfredo C. Fabay, Vice President for Higher Education, and Father Roberto E. N. Rivera of the Society of Jesus, University President. Again, we would like to thank everyone for joining and participating in this ACP workshop. We are grateful for your time and effort to be in this event. To our participants of this workshop, please do not forget to fill out the evaluation form to receive your certificate. We will be sending the link here in the chat box or in your Google Classroom. Please make sure that you are writing the correct information. Thank you again, everyone. We are truly grateful to have you here. We are looking forward to seeing you in future ACP webinars and workshops. Once again, my name is Dara Sofia Cartujano, and I am honored to have been your host. This ends the talk for Zoom In, the art of facilitating hosting in virtual events. Thank you and goodbye.
When the mood don't feel right, I change like the colors of a sunrise. Not scared of the dark, I'm a highlight. I do what I want to. Changes, changing on the daily. Watch me flip the pages, flipping all the pages of my story. Weightless, I've been feeling weightless, fresher than the daydream. Look at me, I'm changing right before me. I dip when the mood don't feel right. I change like the colors of a sunrise. Not scared of the dark, I'm a highlight. I do what I want to. Stand tall cause I know what I've been through. Talk loud cause I know what I can do. Been down but I know how to get through. I do what I want to. I change with the vibe when I walk in. I'm chasing all that I wanted. On fire cause I know how to spark it. I do what I want to. Stay up and I brighten the room up. I trust how I shine like true love. Best part of the night like what's up. I do what I want to. Changes, changing on the daily. Watch me flip the pages, flipping all the pages of
gotta be honest. I don't like the way she dresses, or the way that she pronounces her S's. And I'm just saying what they're thinking, cause they don't know you, no, like I know you, no. I'm not trying to be pretentious, but we know what we had was the bestest. Now you're hiding behind white picket fences, and she knows she don't know you, no, like I know you, no. Not that I'm supposed to be nice and everything, on some feminism shit, yeah. Not that it's not with me, maybe it's jealousy, maybe it's not. I just think she's kinda ugly. I'm not trying to be cruel, but the way she calls you happy before the altar alters you, and you know I'm not trying to waste your time, but I know if I had some, I would change your mind. I just think she's kinda ugly, and that she's not the one for you. Let's not get this confused. Look at her and look at you. Yeah. She'll mess up your genetic pool, and I would never do that. I would just improve that. Not that I'm supposed to be nice and everything, on some feminism shit, yeah. Not that it's not with me, maybe it's jealousy, maybe it's not. I just think she's kinda ugly. I'm not trying to be cruel, but the way she calls you happy before the altar alters you, and you know I'm not trying to waste your time, but I know if I had some, I would change your mind. I just think she's kinda ugly, and that she's not the one for you, for you.
I don't know if I'm like more concerned or confused. That's the thing. It just doesn't make any sense. But why? Why would you do that though? Like,
I just think she's kinda ugly. I'm not trying to be cruel,
don't need to.
but
Why?
the way she calls you happy
It just seems unnecessary.
before the altar alters you,
I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad. I'm not
and you
even